guys, welcome to another episode of the Patriots Table. Today we're going to hit on yet again the Gaza situation. It's keeps firing up and up and up. Every week something new, something horrific's coming out. And we've actually brought in a special guest to talk about the situation out there further. And Rob, you want to introduce our guest?
Yeah, so it's my absolute pleasure to have invite my good friend from many years ago. I think I first met you probably like 5 or 6 years ago at
We,
Elma, New
you
York.
came
Yeah,
out to the Vi, right? You came out
that's
to the
right.
Vi event.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
we
met you at the Vi event,
right. So
and we
it's
met again in Elma, New York, here, like
yep,
not far from me at the church.
absolutely. So this is and I apologize if I get your last name wrong again. I know I
It's all right.
practiced a few times.
I'm used to
Ali
it.
Ali Hamideh.
Yeah, you got it
Uh,
right. You got it right.
good. So we have been talking about this issue on a couple of podcasts before, and every time we talk about it, we get hammered by people who claim that we don't know what we're talking about. So Ali is the perfect solution to that issue because he's a truth seeker, he's a freedom fighter, he's a children's health advocate. Whereas
Thank you very
that's
much,
kind of
brother. Thank
where
you.
we have. I met him first, and we have had a relationship, for that for many years now.
Yes, sir.
And originally from Bronx, and he I think moved to Buffalo, New York now. But he's special only because he has family that lives and he's from the Gaza area. So there's nobody else who can probably tell us what's going on there better than Ali can at this time. So I'm gonna, you know, throw the ball at you and ask you to just kind of give us the background because a lot of people have a lot of ideas of, what's going on, when it started, what the history is a little bit. Just give us a little,
Absolutely.
idea of what's going on there.
So let's take it back pre-October 7, because this whole thing is October 7, October 7. They kidnapped a bunch of Israelis and holding them hostage. People just truly believe this is not October 7. This
Yeah,
happened way before October
of
7.
course. Yes.
Okay, so this basically started in 1948. Okay, so when Israel pre 48 1917, they started coming from Europe, Germany area, and we're welcoming with open arms, open hands, hugging them, loving them. You're here now, we'll protect you. And we had Jewish people living in Palestine already at that time. We lived together for a very, very long time, doctor. And we've never had an issue with the Jewish people. The Jews actually loved us, and they actually said we are Palestinian Jews. You
Mm-hmm.
know, till today they say we're Palestinian Jews. So this situation happened long before October 7. In 1948, when Israel came in and invaded, they went through my father's village called Deir Yassin, and we're in the history books. When they first came in, they came into Deir Yassin and they massacred half of our family in Deir Yassin, my father's family. My father did this happen in April 9 or 19 in 1948. My father was born February 25, 1948. My father was a little bit under 3 months when they massacred half of his family, okay, in the village of Deir Yassin. And from there, they swept 400 villages, brother. 400 villages, killing and displacing 700,000 Palestinians, running away. Don't forget, we don't have no arms, we don't have no weapons. We weren't fighting nobody, so we can't fight back. And
Right.
everybody wants to live their life. They have a bunch of little children, so they feared and they ran away. Some went to Jordan, some went to Syria, Lebanon, Iraq. We scattered everywhere, okay, in 1948. And this is a pain in the heart that we will never forget. Us growing up, Palestinian children, hearing our father and grandfather's story of what happened to them, what they've seen. And anytime you have anything to say about Israel, you're anti-Semitic. You're anti-Semitic.
Right.
He hates Jews. He wants downfall. He wants to kill Jews. No, if we criticize Israeli government, doesn't mean we hate Jews. We
Right.
actually have a lot of Jewish friends in Palestine. My grandfather, his next door neighbor was Jewish. They never had a problem. This whole issue started with the Zionism guys. Zionists, they came in and somehow they kind of molded Zionism into Judaism, which they have nothing to do together at all. Zionism is a political movement. Judaism is a religion. Okay, the Jews, the real Jews, say we are against Zionism. We don't follow Zionism, and what they do is they just shove it down their throat to this younger crowd, these younger Jewish people, and they really believe that they're supposed to be Zionist. A lot of them believe they're supposed to be Zionist, you know, and they follow Zionist movement, and they believe that Palestine never existed. They truly believe this, brother Trey and Robbie. They believe Palestine was an empty land with no people.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
and they just took over empty land. But you've got to mention a part where they killed tens of thousands and displaced 700,000 Palestinians in 1948. You know, and it's just like that. It just a conflict never stopped after that. It just kept going on and on. I took a couple notes. I would like to kind of let you know how this went down.
Yeah.
So, if you don't mind, because I don't want to get carried away and start going on to different topics.
No, do get carried away, because when you get carried away, we get a lot of information we don't know.
Okay,
Right? I mean,
So-
that's important, because I learned a few things right now. I mean, like that I
Yeah.
didn't know, because just like you said, I mean, people here get indoctrinated on a different viewpoint that they believe in now, because now they believe there's some kind of chosen people that they have to protect. And then, so that it
Yeah,
gets kind of
that's a whole different
confusing.
story. That's a whole
Yeah,
different chosen
yeah.
people. We're talking about European Jews,
Sure.
Zionists. That has got nothing to do with the Semites. They're not even real Semites. So
Right.
when they say anti-Semitic, they're not even Semitic, guys.
Right.
They're from Europe. They're
Right.
from Ukraine. They're from Russia. They're Ashkenazi Jews.
Yeah, now we know
You know
that,
what I mean?
because now they're speaking up too. So, I think we're getting kind of the feeling now, because there are some people, like, I recently watched, and I think we're going to play this later on in the show, like Jeffrey Sachs, I mean, who's a very well-known Jewish economist. I mean, he just said, blasted that, whole regime out there and what they're doing, because, anyway, I don't want to hold you up. Go ahead. We
No,
want to
go
hear
ahead,
you.
go ahead. I'm listening to you.
No, because this is important stuff, because history is important, and a lot
Yeah.
of people don't understand or don't know the history over here. I mean, we have these neoconservatives over here too, who believe that, that they should be Zionists for whatever reason, and they don't know the history as well. Now, I
No,
read
they
up
don't.
a little
They don't
bit
know,
on
brother. They
that.
don't know.
Yeah, and I knew
It's
the
really
19
sad.
It is. It is.
And it sucks because the younger Jewish crowd really believe that there
They
was no
do.
land there. They really truly believe Zionism is the way. And it sucks for them because they go join this army, the IDF, the most evil soldiers on earth under the sun.
Well,
They
that
go
I
join
knew.
them
Yeah.
thinking they're gonna die for the homeland and we're gonna get Israel back and it's terrible, man. It's terrible. It's truly sad what they're feeding their young kids. And honestly, as you can see, it's not safe for any Jew around the world what Netanyahu is doing. He's really making the world less safer for Jews all around the world.
Yeah.
He really is. And it's just sad. So I'm gonna kind of to get a little bit more detail for you guys, and hopefully your viewers will go fact check me as well because everything I'm stating is in history books. I didn't create nothing. You know what I mean? I didn't write this out of my head. This is all proven history that the Zionists don't want nobody knowing.
The
They're
problem is
racist.
now people fact check using TikTok. So we have, and
Yeah.
Google and stuff like that. But see, and this is why, having somebody like you on here is important, because you have first-hand information, which, like is really important, because you can go on there and whatever you ask for, the internet will provide you, right?
Of course,
So that's not
course.
a good source. And, I try to verify everything that I, share and post usually,
Yeah.
99.9% of the time. And that's, for me, that's important, because I want to know what is really going on. And then, make
Absolutely.
these people listen and hear from, from somebody like you. So, please go right ahead. I don't wanna hold you
Absolutely.
up.
So for over 7 decades, guys, the Palestinian people have endured occupation, displacement, violence, murder, and injustice. It's been horrific. Yeah, our resistance as Palestinians, our resistance and resilience have never been extinguished. We still fight to the day. We still hold on to the dream. We will come back to Palestine till today. 75 years later, we still believe we're going to come back to our land because it belongs to us. We never gave up on it. Since 1948, more than 700,000 Palestinians were forcefully expelled from their homes during the Nakba. The Nakba means the Great Catastrophe, okay? Palestinians have lived under the shadow of military occupation and systematic oppression. Till today, since 1948, we've never seen freedom. Every block you go to is a checkpoint, harassment, IDs, visas. They go through a whole family history, especially my family from Deir Yassin. When they run across us, they really harass us for hours, and then sometimes arrest us for no reason with no charges. Okay, just because we're from Deir Yassin, and they know what they did to us. Okay, and they really fear people from my village. They fear us a lot, so they really mess with us the most. The Deir Yassin people. Who is your grandfather? How long you been in Palestine? Who's your grandmother's name, grandfather, family line, lineage, and they actually have they know a whole family line from Deir Yassin, and they do not like us there. So when I went to visit a few years back, it was harassment after harassment. After, it was never they never stopped the whole time I was there. I got harassed nonstop. So like I said, we've been under the military occupation and oppression nonstop since 1948. So what began as a erasure of towns and villages has continued in the form of illegal settlement expansions, apartheid policies, and repeated assaults on civilians and wiping out the population that does not follow their law or command. So if they come to our village and say, hey guys, you have 1 day to get out of this house. We're taking your house over. And if we don't get out, it's going to be torture and death. So they're basically saying, get out of your home. You have 24-hour notice. We're taking this house. We're taking this whole street. This whole block is ours now. And there's thousands of Palestinians living in that street. Guess what? They got to get out. If they don't, the IDF soldiers come, and even the settlers, which are dirtier than the IDF, the settlers there are horrific, man. They are horrific, backed by the IDF. Just regular people coming with machine guns and threatening to kill us. And they do kill us. And guess what? They get away with it. No charges, no questions asked. They kill us and get away with it. Like, what kind of democracy is that? They say Israel is a democracy state. What kind of democracy do you allow your settlers to go kill Palestinians and just get away with it, man? That's unheard of anywhere you go in the world. It's unheard of.
I don't think it's a democracy. I think it's a rogue state.
I was about to say you can't criticize the Israeli government as an Israeli citizen without ending up in jail. That's no democracy.
They claim their democracy. Like, what democracy is? Like, what do you have? Like, give me one quality of democracy state. Nothing. It's all torture, rape. They've been raping Palestinian prisoners, women, men, and children. And this is proven facts. And if you want, I can show you links later on. Proven facts by the UN. Okay. Killing and just who said it best the other day, and I love what he said. Dr. Finkelstein. He said every accusation is a confession by Israel. Look how deep is that. Every accusation is a confession, and literally everything they say that we're doing, they're doing it. You know what I mean?
Sounds like the liberals over here, huh?
Yeah. Oh my God, man. Times 100.
Yeah.
So the creation of the state of Israel in 1948 led to the destruction of more than 400 Palestinian villages, guys. Entire communities were wiped off the map. Families fled and were expelled at gunpoint, many never to return. This was not a peaceful transition, according to them. They said they came in, it was an empty land, it was just settled. It was peaceful transition. That was not the case. They killed a lot of us. They intimidated a lot of us. They scared us. They jailed us. Whatever the case is, we left. Okay, many of us left, and many of us are still there. And entire communities were wiped off the map. Like I said, like right now, all those villages in 48 are not there no more. Like if you see a 48 map and today's map, all those villages are gone, man. It's so sad. My family in Deir Yassin, my grandfather and his brothers owned hundreds of acres of olive trees, fig trees, and walnuts. I could have been a multi-billionaire today, distributing Palestine, Europe, America. We could have did something good for ourselves over there. But they came in, cut all the trees down, burnt the village, destroyed the houses, and they just built what they wanted to do there. So it's very sad, man. When people tell you, Israel was always there. Israel was not always there. Jews were there, but Israel was never a country, was never a state. Okay, as you probably know the map, we had Judea, we had the Canaanites. Okay. We had Palestine for the past, 700-800 years. There was never a state called Israel. On the contrary, Israel is Jacob. You know Jacob. Yeah. That's his nickname, Israel. So when God refers to them in the Quran, he says children of Israel. Children of Israel. He never said the land of Israel. So when they tell you these are God's chosen people, they disobeyed God in so many ways. I don't want to get too much into the Muslim perspective of things, but in our belief, they disobeyed Abraham, Moses, Jesus. They sold him to the Romans, and they according to the Christians, they crucified him. So they disobeyed God in so many ways. So God got angry at them, according to Muslim belief, got angry at them, and you know the story. They got lost in the
Yeah.
sandstorm for 40 years. They ended up going to the Pharaoh, being slaves. So that's all from God's wrath, according to our belief in Islam. So that's why we say they have no homeland. They have no homeland. They're gypsies. Jews are really gypsies. But the ones that stayed with us in Palestine never had an issue. They
Yeah.
loved it. They lived side by us. We actually protected them in so many different wars. The Muslims protecting the Jews, and you can actually go search us up and see it. We protected so many Jews from the Crusaders, from the Christians, from even other Muslims that went to war with them. The Palestinians protected them. Okay, when the Ottoman Empire came, we fought against the Ottoman Empire, and we're both Muslim. That just shows you how compassionate Palestinians are. We welcome everybody with open arms, and then they come massacre us and kill us and steal our land.
I have to say, I mean, like, I haven't met many Palestinians, but I have met a few over even here. I mean, there was a couple of guys who ran a restaurant here. Nicest people I've ever met.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
I
We,
mean,
tr-
no,
we
I mean,
try to
seriously.
lead by example, stay
Yeah, I mean,
humble, very
it's
welcoming.
it's crazy. In fact, I just read today, I think it was today, yesterday, I read something about where even the Jews who are now residing in Palestine are getting harassed by the settlers.
Yeah,
You know, they're having a hard time with them, and even the Christians living in there. I mean, they're getting harassed. So it's like this to
man.
me
The
is,
settlers are
yeah,
horrific, man. They actually just beat up my cousin a couple of days ago, in Ramallah, in West Bank, and he sells juice. He has a juice bar, like a little stand, and
uh-huh.
they came in and started harassing all the vendors there. They asked my cousin for a drink, and he says, "I don't carry this drink." So the one guy pistol whipped him with the back of the pistol, cracked him on the side of his temple, ripped his whole face open. I actually shared it on Facebook a couple of days ago.
I think I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my cousin. His mom and my dad are brother and sister. They beat him up. They cracked him in the head. They kicked him in the face, kicked him in the stomach, and told him, "You better stock this drink next time we come. We want it for free." And it's
Wow.
like this is the type of stuff they do over there: intimidation. They beat you. This is all scare tactics. So when the IDF soldiers come, you don't do nothing against them. You don't talk to them in a bad way. You don't resist. You don't fight. This is all scare tactics,
I
intimidation. You know what I mean? Uh,
I don't want to interrupt, but I just
go ahead,
gotta
Trey.
say this sounds exactly like tactics that certain brown shirts used in Nazi Germany.
Yeah,
Like this is the exact kind of stuff, and I born and raised in Ohio in the U.S. here. Like a
yeah,
lot of none of this stuff is taught in schools. None of this. I mean,
No.
it's so it's like you said. It's like, oh, the U.S. government, the U.K., everybody found this destitute land to make the state of Israel
yeah.
and plopped them in
I'm gonna get to
there and
that, Trey.
helped.
I'm gonna get to that too. I'm gonna talk about the
It's
Balfour
so
Declaration and
bad.
everything.
But the fact that we have a people that their whole thing is, and still to this day, and I'm not saying it wasn't a horrible thing. The Holocaust was a horrible thing to happen.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'm against the murder in any way, shape, or form
Brother,
of
nobody should be
innocent
murdered for no
people.
reason, for religious
So,
views, politics. You should not be
but
murdered for that.
the fact that you have a people that just went through something as horrible as the Holocaust come in and be like, oh, we're just going to displace 700,000 people and essentially murder a bunch of innocent people and destroy towns and villages is like, I just, that's so, how can you claim to be better than the people that you were just oppressed by if you're going to turn around and do almost the exact same thing?
Even worse, in some cases, worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, like, if you talk to anybody here who's actually stupidly defending all of this, I mean, they'll blame everything on Hamas, right? Now,
yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with, being a terrorist per se, but from what you're telling me, I mean, like,
What's a terrorist to them is freedom fighters for us.
yeah. So
And
this is what I'm
Hamas didn't
saying.
exist for
Like,
no reason.
yeah.
Hamas did not exist for no reason, brother.
So yeah, I mean, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, when you see, like, for example, I mean, you were 3 months old when your father's family was killed. That's a hate that you're never going to forget. I mean, people don't realize. I mean, people who take to arms and fight back, it's like it's a thing in your mind. I mean, like, it's transferred generation to generation. Each generation sees the previous generation getting killed.
Roger, you put anybody in a
For no
corner,
reason.
they're gonna
Yeah.
swing back. You shove anybody in a corner, they're gonna swing back.
Exactly.
Let me just before we move on to the next thing. I just want to touch bases on the Israeli settlers. Okay,
Uh-huh.
we don't have to deal with the government and the IDF, okay, and the IDO and all these other guys. We have to deal with the settlers. They are extremely racist and violent. These guys, these settlers, they have gangs of them, gangs. They come 15, 20, 30 people with machine guns, and they actually put it to women and children, and in some cases kill them, threaten them, and what are you doing here? Where are you walking to? Why are you on my street? Why are you on this side? It's like harassment. They go to school. They shoot at little children in school. These sellers are extremely violent, man. So let me just read what I jotted down about these settlers. These armed settlers, often protected by the Israeli soldiers, have attacked Palestinian villages, torched olive trees, vandalized homes, harassed families. And places like Hawan, Burin, Haifa, Yat'a, entire communities live in fear from these settlers because they live basically like cross street from each other in a way. You know what I mean? And these are not isolated incidents. They are part of a systematic effort to displace the Palestinians from their land. So they keep still doing this,
Uh-huh.
even the settlers, to scare us away so they can steal our home and our land. That's what they do. Back to what like Trey said, intimidation, just like
Uh-huh.
like like the Nazi Germans did. You know what I mean? And it does not stop. Homes are demolished with bulldozers. I don't know if you've ever seen those videos. They come in, they take a whole street, and the next day they demolish it and they build their own homes. Children grow up under the sound of drones nonstop, airstrikes nonstop. This is trauma. This is trauma.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
creates trauma in these little children, man. And then they wonder why Hamas every year to get bigger and bigger and bigger numbers. You kill their
Mm-hmm.
parents, you kill
Yep.
their siblings. Who are
Mm-hmm.
you gonna turn to?
Yeah.
Who are they gonna turn to? They're only making Hamas stronger and bigger by doing this. You know
Uh-huh.
what I mean? And they've been warned. They said, guys, you are creating Hamas soldiers when you blow up a building and kill half of their family. What these little kids are gonna go? Where are they gonna go? They're gonna go for revenge. They're gonna go to people to look up to now, which is gonna be freedom fighters, like I said to us, Hamas soldiers, or anybody in the street that's gonna say, "Hey, listen, we're gonna fight back." You know,
Mm-hmm. And in a kind of a, strange way, I think the Israelis want that because as long as Hamas is there, that's their excuse
they
to
have a
keep
purpose. They have a
pushing.
purpose.
Yeah, I mean, like they use them. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, even October 7th, I mean, we saw the videos that talked about how they just basically turned a blind eye to every indication that there was an attack coming. They didn't, the most heavily guarded border was like open for a couple of hours. I mean, no, these are all
Right.
signs that they actually
Israel knew about
wanted.
October 7th attack. They knew
Yeah,
about it. They
exactly.
knew about it. They let it happen. They wanted this. You got to
Yep.
understand, Ravi. There's a greater Israel plan. I'm sure you heard about that
Oh,
too.
of course. Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
get into that later. But the Netanyahu has plans. He's
Mm-hmm.
allowing everything to happen because he already took part of Syria. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Golan Heights is
Yeah.
his, and now they say they're about 40 miles out from Damascus, which is the capital of Syria. They even
Mm-hmm.
went past Golan Heights now.
Yeah.
So it's they got bigger plans. You got to understand, this is not a conflict of equal. Okay,
Uh-huh.
one side is a nuclear armed state with most advanced military technology. Okay, the other side, stateless people fighting for survival, dignity, and the right to exist in their own land. So this is not a conflict. When
Yeah.
people tell you a conflict, this is not a conflict.
You're right.
Okay, let's be straight out with this. This is a genocide. This is a
Genocide. Yep.
war on one side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mhm.
don't tell me that the most advanced army in the world, Israel. I call them the most advanced army because they really are. The most advanced army
Well, we are
can't beat a
behind
few
them.
farmers. They can't beat a few farmers.
Yeah.
Talking about they say Hamas not more than 5,000-6,000 soldiers. You can't beat those people. Come on,
Uh-huh.
something weird is happening there, guys. Something weird is
Yeah.
happening. I think if they really want to get Hamas to take them out in one night, but they have a
Mm-hmm.
greater vision.
You're
They
right.
have a greater plan. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, Hamas is not that hard to find. They already found so many holes where Hamas hides, but they
Uh-huh.
want to keep this conflict going. Like they say, this conflict, they want to keep it going. And another way they justify the killing of innocent children because they say Hamas is using them as human shield. Hamas is hiding underneath the hospitals.
Uh-huh.
You know since October 7 till today, the IDF Israel blew up 36 hospitals in
Yeah.
Gaza.
I saw that.
And do
Yeah.
you know how many hospitals there is in Gaza total?
I don't know. How many?
36.
Oh, 36.
So
Yeah.
they blew up all
Yeah,
of them.
they blew up all the hospitals.
Yeah.
Just last week,
I'm-
what we discussed in the Nasser
Mhm.
Hospital menu.
Yeah.
I want to see what your thoughts on Ravi and Trey. What do you think about the Nasser Hospital that was broadcasted live?
We're gonna take a look at a video of this bomb. You said there's 36 hospitals in what region?
In Gaza Strip.
in Gaza Strip, and there are zero hospitals
Zero hospitals.
standing as
They
of
have a
today.
couple hospitals quarter section working and no electricity. This generators.
So
It's ridiculous.
it's tents pitched up in rubble, makeshift
Basically, yeah,
hospital. It's,
they're making
a
something
field
happen
hospital
out of
is,
nothing.
I
Yeah,
guess, what a little field hospital,
no
not a.
medication, no anesthesia, nothing. When
Gosh.
they come in with a blown limb, they gotta cut off with no pain medication.
So we're back in Civil War times
Basically, yeah,
in the early 1800s for this stuff.
they're very resilient. The Palestinian kids, man, they're resilient, man.
I I've
They're
seen
they're different.
videos, and
They're different.
it's honestly hard to watch. I got four kids, 8 and under, and I see these kids
Yeah,
my children's age, what they're going through, and
it's sad, man. It's sad. It really
it's
is.
hard to watch. I do want to share this video. This video has actually been getting censored all over the place. Um, and I really want to show everybody here.
That was the second time they bombed it. So what they did is they bombed it the first time. The crew went in, the helpers went in, and they ended up killing the journalists and the aid workers the second time.
So that is, like Ravi had pointed out before, that breaks that's a war crime. That's a war crime right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You cannot bomb something, wait for response worker. I mean, press, rescue, search and rescue, whatever, any type of response, and then bomb the people trying to save the injured. That's for everybody
That's
watching.
illegal.
That is
Yeah.
Basically,
illegal.
yeah.
The Israeli government people can be tried for war crimes for this.
You know, with the second explosion, they killed 22 people with that second explosion.
Yeah.
Including 5 journalists with those 22 people. 5 journalists.
I mean,
Now,
they systematically eliminated like almost all the independent journalists.
There's no independent journalists left, and they won't let nobody in.
I wanted to ask you if you had any rough numbers on the amount of journalists that
about 450, 450 journalists since October 7
have been killed.
Have been killed, correct?
And I've heard that it's not just being killed with it, like they're being sniped.
They're targeting them.
Like
they're
targeted, and they're watching. Like I've seen people on Instagram from Palestine who start to get over 10, 20,000 followers from what they're putting out there, and then boom, that person ends up dead.
They kill them. Anytime you have a following base, you're influential, they kill you. They want to silence everybody there. And it's sad that it's sad. I can't even think about the words. Netanyahu comes down and says it was a mistake. It was a mistake because he got caught on camera. It's a mistake. Their stance has shifted, claiming that they did not intentionally target the hospital. They're saying it was Hamas operates command center beneath them. That's why they did it. But the second time was a mistake. The first time wasn't a mistake. The second time, because he got caught on camera, was a mistake. You know what I mean?
They did the same thing. This is like a year ago with the church. First, there was Hamas munitions underneath the church, so they blew it up. Well, then there wasn't any, and then they said, well, Hamas blew it up. And it's like, well, there's Christian, and then they said, well, we didn't do it at all. Like they changed their story 3 times based off of information that was uncovered from it.
He comes out and says it's a tragic mishap. Tragic mishap. I don't know if you guys heard that.
We did. And in fact, there was another video floating around that actually showed not only the attack from the outside, but somebody videoed it from the inside. And that's after that came out is only when they came out and said it was a mishap.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't
because they got caught. They got caught.
Yep.
They're unable to contain consistency with the story. It's like they change the stories every 5-10 minutes. They lie so much they can't keep up with their lies. They just can't. It's like it's sickening, man. Like you're lying and then you're making a lie to cover your old lie. Then now you got to create a new lie for the old lie, and they get lost in these lies. And they're just then in the end like, oh, whatever, it happened. The Hamas was in there. It's like, okay, like who's gonna stop these people? The UN already condemned them. The
Mhm.
ICC is saying that Netanyahu has a warrant for his arrest. Ben Gvir has a warrant for his arrest. What's his name? Smirtage, the finance minister, has a warrant for his arrest. All these guys are wanted in so many countries now, and they still keep doing it because they know the United States has their back. They know
Yeah,
Donald Trump has their back, completely has their back. Like
yeah.
they know they won't get in trouble when
Which is
when
very,
Trump is putting his neck on the line.
which is very disappointing because we
Mm.
thought that that was the only person who could actually put a
No,
stop to
unfortunately,
this,
you got to
right?
understand his son-in-law Kushner controls him. Kushner is
Yeah.
big Mossad. He's not little. He's big Mossad, deep in the Mossad. And that's his son-in-law. He's married to his favorite daughter. And honestly, Trump doesn't run his foreign policy. Kushner
Yeah.
does, and that's a known fact.
That's
Kushner lays out all like you have APAC on this side, and you have Kushner on this side. Trump is getting bombarded by left and right. Honestly, I think Trump would have been a good guy if Kushner wasn't around. I think he would have did the right
Mm.
thing, but he's not going against Kushner. He really is not.
well, me and Ravi have talked about it on previous
Uh,
episodes about how Trump did a complete 180 when it comes to foreign policy with the Israel stuff that he
Yeah.
did. This wasn't how he ran stuff back in his first term. This
No.
isn't how he said he was going to run things,
He actually
which,
used to piss off Israel in his first term.
uh-huh.
yes, yeah. So this has gotten this has gotten very interesting to see how embedded Israel is in the American government and how big
Yeah.
of a pull they have to the point of,
We
I mean,
give
they're paying. I've been hearing and they've been saying how influencers and mega church pastors are getting paid to speak of this stuff. And I mean,
well, that's
I
what they
grew up
do.
in
That's what they do. They pay
I
you. They pay you to control you.
Uh-huh.
well, I grew up in a Christian home, went to church every Sunday, and the church I went to every Sunday, it was they had to pray for Israel because it's in the Bible to pray to bless Israel and you'll be blessed. And like that
Is
was
that a
ingrained.
Schofield Bible or a regular Bible? Which version is that? If it's
That
a
was
Schofield, scratch it out.
I mean, I we could
Most
go down
Christians
a
are
we
following
could
the
go
Schofield Bible now. Most Christians are following, Schofield Bible hasn't been even out less than 100 years. The Schofield
right.
Bible.
Yeah.
And
That could be a very, very deep rabbit trail with what I think on the Bible and the whole thing. But I mean, it's so ingrained in American culture now when it comes to Christianity that just Israel, there's no difference between the state of Israel and Israel of the Bible and what's taught
Uh-huh.
there. And it's very confusing to me how the modern day state of Israel has anything to do with the Bible. And then if you are a Christian,
yeah.
if you truly believe what Jesus did and what the Christianity preaches, Jesus even said, "I came here to blur the line between Jew and Gentile. They're one and the same. I love them." So it shouldn't even matter, in my opinion, if you're really
The
going based off
Jews
of
have zero respect for Christians in Palestine. Zero respect.
Uh-huh.
They spit on them.
right.
It's their
That's the other
culture.
thing. They don't like
They
us
spit on
anyway.
Christians.
So
They spit at the church. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Every time a Christian comes out of church, they yell, and I hate to say this, but they say Jesus is the son of a whore. I hate to say that because in Islam, Jesus is one of the best prophets for us. Okay, they say Jesus is burning in hell. It's in a Talmud, in their book.
hmm
Jesus is burning in hell. How are we as a Christian country, Christian nation, supporting this regime that hates us Christians? How is like it doesn't grasp my mind how we're allowing $3.8 billion a year to go to Israel military IDF packages to kill innocent people. How are we allowing that when we know they killed Jesus? Okay, they hate Christians. They spit on the Christians. They hate everybody that's not Jew. They call us goyams, which means like despicable human beings. Faithless pagans in a way. You know what I mean? Like they hate everybody that's not Jewish. I don't know how we got to the point where we put Israel first and America second in this country. We're supposed to be about America. They broke the Constitution. Okay, They broke freedom of speech. Now, if you say anything wrong against Israel, you can be in prison up to 15 and 20 years. If you burn an Israeli flag, you can face up to 5 years in prison now. It's like, dude, where's America first? What happened to Mega? What happened to that?
Well, the brainwashed here don't worship, they worship money and power, right?
Yeah,
I mean, this is the bottom line. I mean, they have pretty much blackmailed everybody in the political arena and even the church, probably,
Hmm.
with money and power. So whatever that they say, these people just suck it all up. And these are the same people who didn't trust a word that the government told them 5 years ago. And now all of a
absolutely.
sudden, it's absolutely mind blowing to me how they just stand there and blame Hamas for everything, and then just don't see the reality of it, or don't even like want to understand the history, what's going on, what the what
I
really.
think Ravi they know the history by now. They're just too afraid to go against
It's
Zionists and the
willful
churches.
ignorance.
Yeah,
It's
They're
that is
too
probably
willful
afraid
true.
to go
Yeah,
against
I
ignorance.
think you're
their
right.
churches.
Mhm.
Let's take it back to Gaza. I kind of want to give you the time frame of October 7th till now, what Israel's been doing in there, as
That's
far as
good.
for
Yeah.
Absolutely.
blockades and restrictions, stuff like that. So they did a complete siege. You know that on October 9, 2023, 2 days after October 7th, Israel imposed a full blockade on Gaza, cutting off electricity, food, water supply, and fuel. How can you operate without those guys? Honestly, how can you operate? And the borders are closed, no trade, no leaving. You're stuck in this 2 mile radius area with no resources at all. Okay, and then they knocked out all the Gaza power plants as well. I don't know if you guys knew that. They actually blew them up, so you can't even get electricity if you wanted to. And until today, this has happened. Till today, this is happening. Now it's been what, almost 2 years. They still didn't give them back water. They still didn't give back electricity. There's nothing in Gaza. It just destroyed buildings, people sleeping underneath rubble. Okay. Even after partial easing on the siege in early 2025, they started significant strikes again. And they said, we're going to bring in the fuel, we're going to bring in gas, we're going to bring in. They're not bringing anything. They were bringing in fake trucks full of IDF soldiers. When they get near, they start shooting the people and killing them. People thinking it's food, drinks, medicine, blankets, clothes. Like, yeah, we got a truck coming in today. The truck will go in. People run to the truck. IDF soldiers start shooting and killing people.
That's
Look,
crazy.
look how horrific this is. Look how horrific this is.
That's illegal as well.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
brother.
it's
Everything
really
they're doing is
illegal.
illegal. UN have so many resolutions against Israel. ICC Court, ICJ. These guys are doing everything illegal there. There's nothing they're doing straight. Nothing illegal about what they do there. Then now they're using starvation as a weapon. Okay. Human Rights Watch accuses Israel of internationally depriving Gaza civilians of access to water and sanitation, arguing this amount of extermination and potential genocide under international law. UN and rights group have described this as deliberate, systematic obstruction of humanitarian aid, invoking collective punishment and potential war crimes. It's not. It is war. It is war crimes. It's not
It
potential.
is.
It is
Yeah.
war
There's
crimes.
no potential. Yeah.
They're militarizing the aid distributions. Israel establishing Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. I'm sure you heard of the GHF,
Uh-huh.
a U.S. Israeli-backed military-style distribution scheme that placed around 400 UN-led distribution points within 4 heavily restricted sites. These sites have become deadly. More than 5,000 Palestinians seeking aid have been killed, with thousands more wounded and injured, many close to GHF or other aid convoys. So the way to do it, I told you, we have famine in Gaza. They have these little narrow lines for people standing in line for these aids, for these aid trucks. If you happen to step out of line a little bit, they're shooting to kill you. They're gonna kill you.
This is why.
Imagine 1.8 million people standing in line. Somebody's bound to step out this line, man. Little
Mhm.
kids, starving little
Yeah.
kids, begging for food and water. If you step out that line, which is supposed to be 2 people wide, if somebody else trembles or steps out, they're shooting them. They already killed 5,000 people in those lines just for stepping out. They weren't Hamas. They didn't have no weapons. There wasn't a threat. They barely have clothes on. They don't have bombs strapped to their chest. They're just shooting and shoot. And there's a lot of things going around saying that these Israeli soldiers are playing video games. They're thinking they're in Call of Duty, just killing people in real life, and they're loving it. They're recording it. They're putting it
Well,
online.
I heard
They're
they were
enjoying it.
saying it was warning shots, which is still
No,
That's
brother,
still
brother.
illegal. Even if
They,
that was the case, that's still illegal. You're not allowed doing
listen,
I
that.
these
saw
warning
a
shots,
video.
the
I
bullet
saw a
would have been
video.
stuck in the middle of the brains of little kids.
Yeah,
They have
Right.
so many X-rays, doctor. You know this.
I
They have
saw
so
that.
many
I saw
X-rays
one video.
showing
Yeah.
bullets in the middle of their brain, little kids. I'm talking about hundreds of little kids. There's nothing about warning. I know you don't believe that, Trey. I'm just saying in general. That's what they
Yeah.
want to tell the public. It's warning
Hmm.
shots. A warning shot is in the air, not in the brain.
I have politicians in Ohio telling me that those are warning shots.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
lying.
Oh,
But
that's
We
total
know.
BS because I saw a little kid,
You're
like
anti-Semitic, Trey. You're
I
anti-Semitic.
taking the food and then turning around and getting shot. I mean,
Yeah.
it
So
was they,
widespread famine and
yeah,
starvation is going on, guys. In mid
walking
of
7-8 kilometers to get
uh-huh.
food, which,
yeah,
mind you,
in
requires
95-degree
water to
weather.
cook, and they're not giving them water to cook it. So they're giving them dry rice. What are they going to cook it with? They're just going to
Brother, the rice you
and then
brought
shooting them.
in has fentanyl in it. I don't know if you guys seen that. They brought in
I did.
rice.
Oh, that's just the
Yeah,
first I've heard
they
of
put
that.
fentanyl in their rice. Look how dirty these people get. They put fentanyl, which it might kill you. If not, you're gonna get addicted to it and go crazy. Your body's gonna need it. You know what I mean? It's like oxycodone and Percocets. They put
Well, and
and
how
morphine.
would that affect somebody who's already literally starving to death? Like
They
that
want to
kind of
destroy people,
fentanyl
man.
hitting your
They want to
that's
destroy people.
You can get overdose real quick.
yeah, that's
The IPC, the UN-backed IPC, confirmed a famine in Gaza City
Uh-huh.
and warned that by September, the situation could affect up to 700,000 people and roughly one-third of Gaza's population. They're saying Gaza's health ministry reports over 300 people, including many children, have already died of starvation. And that's on a lower end, by the way. They don't report everything. Just to let you know. 300, when they say a number, times it by 5.
Uh-huh.
Like Israel saying they killed only 60,000 people. No, we have about 500,000 people missing, man, in Gaza.
I was
Yeah.
about to say, I see
500,000 people.
conservative estimates are around 20,000 children alone.
Yeah, yeah.
That's and
That
that's
that
So
that's
that's
let
conservative.
me ask you a
And
question, Ali, because this is
yeah.
something that we get all the time, right? So, like, I have been posting about this for a couple of months now since I started, digging into it and seeing stuff. I mean, at the beginning I knew, but I didn't know it was that bad until I saw one of my friends, posting stuff, and then I saw your post, and I trusted what you were posting, and I'm
I'm
like,
sure you
oh,
watch Nadra
geez,
too. Nadra,
oh
she
yeah,
puts
Nadra and
beautiful
you
content.
were the ones, and I saw that she was posting your stuff too, and so it got me
Yeah.
interested. And I was started looking into. So every once in a while, when we post stuff, we get this thing that says, "Oh, the aid's going in, but Hamas is stealing it and not giving it to the people." What would you say to
Uh, first of
that?
all, Hamas does not even come out to see the people.
Yeah.
That's number one. Hamas does not show their face. Nobody knows what
Mhm.
Hamas is. Not the people living in Gaza,
Right.
not
Right.
Israel. They
Yeah.
say they are 700 feet underground. They say they
Uh-huh.
have a city beneath a city. Okay, so when they say Hamas is taking it, how's Hamas coming out? Okay, when you have Israeli drones everywhere,
Yeah.
you have soldiers on ground. How's Hamas stealing the resources and the money and the food? How is that possible without Israel seeing them? And
Uh-huh.
Israel sees everything, brother. Gaza is only two
Yeah.
kilometers.
right.
It's only 2 kilometers big. They see everything. Okay, so if Hamas soldiers actually come out and steal the money, steal the food, they'll see them and kill them.
Yeah.
So that
Exactly. Yeah.
right there tells us all BS. That's
That's a
all
good point.
BS.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Excellent
And
point. Yeah.
yeah, you got to understand that money is going in. It's not coming to us, man. It's not coming to Gaza. Uh, I'll be surprised if more than 15-20% comes in of what's really being sent out.
Uh-huh.
Israel steals the money. They take it. They don't give it to them because they actually control it. They tell you send it to Gaza, but Israel has to clear it first. It
Uh-huh.
doesn't go to Gaza directly. It has to go
Yeah.
through Israel first. Every donation, every dollar that comes in, it's accounted for. Israel knows where it goes, and they don't give everything to them. They don't give it. They give them a
Uh-huh.
small percentage. It is confirmed by a lot of people. It's confirmed.
Now, I want to ask you this too, Ali. So, and I got this directly from a politician in Ohio here, a state politician. I won't say who it is, but when talking about the food trucks, getting taken over by Hamas, they actually said that the UN in Gaza wasn't just taking, it's controlled by Hamas. Hamas is controlling the UN personnel that is in there, and that almost that almost sounds too stupid to even ask you
I
about
think I know who
because
this is too.
yeah, you know exactly who it is,
Yeah.
right? But
He's probably kissing Apex ass. That's what it
I
is.
mean, my thing is, if that's the case, the UN trucks have to go through Israeli checkpoints to get in there. So if Hamas is really controlling the personnel, wouldn't it be Israel's fault that Hamas is getting
Absolutely.
in there with stuff? But then, like, how stupid is that? Is stupid like it sounds really stupid, but is there anything that you have to say to that?
All I can tell you is complete bullshit. Excuse the language. It's
That's a good.
complete
That's a,
BS.
that's a
I
very
like it.
concise
I
way
like
to.
it.
Israel controls everything that goes in and out of Gaza. Every single thing, whether it's money, food, weapons, drones, aircraft, they control the skies and the ground. They have complete control, siege of Gaza. Okay, west, north, east, south. Gaza is completely controlled by Israel. Hamas has not come out. They don't take the convoys. They don't see the donations. They don't see the food. Hamas, when they come out to attack and go back in their holes.
Uh-huh.
Okay, they're not looking for food. Hamas has a lot of food on the ground. Hamas has weapons on the ground. Hamas has been prepared for a long time. According to reports, Hamas can live years underneath the ground without eating or drinking nothing from outside.
Uh-huh.
They've been waiting for that day. They've been waiting. You gotta understand, guys. When you push a group of people in a corner for 75 years and you kill and torture, resistance is gonna happen. Resistance is gonna happen. Doesn't matter where you go, what country, what state. Anybody you kill, they're gonna fight back eventually. Okay, and actually, Hamas is a government in Gaza. They were elected. They were
Uh-huh.
fairly elected by the people in Gaza. I don't know if you guys noticed.
Yeah, I
They
don't.
were
Yeah.
they weren't just a terrorist group that popped up. They
Uh-huh.
actually won a fair election.
Yeah.
Okay, they beat the
That's
opposition.
that's used in America as a justification of how bad the Palestinian citizens are because they elected these terrorists to like as sick and twisted as it is, and let me just make this abundantly clear. I don't care who elects who into office. Children do not bear the responsibility or the punishment of that period. That is no different than because we have made abortion up to a certain point legal in the US that, you know, children deserve to be killed in the US over that. Like that's just as asinine as that. So I just want to make that clear, but that
It,
has been a
it,
very, very strong point that politicians and Americans have used as a reason to justify what Israel's doing.
let me weigh on that, Trey. Let me weigh on that. So when elections came up, it was Fatah versus Hamas. Now, do you guys know who Fatah is? That's
I
the
do not.
president's people, Mahmoud
Uh-huh.
Abbas's group called Fatah. Fatah have been openly known for working with Israel. They've been openly known for counting down to Israel. Whatever Israel says, okay, okay, okay. Mahmoud Abbas
Uh-huh.
is a big sellout, the president of Palestine, a big sellout. Okay,
Yeah.
he bends over sideways for Israel in America. Everybody knows that. So as Palestinians, Hamas was always good to the people. Hamas, they helped them. Hamas was I can't prove this, but Hamas has connections outside of Palestine. Okay, they
Well, of
worked with
course.
Iran
Yeah.
supposedly. They worked
Yeah.
with Lebanon. They worked with
Uh-huh.
Syria. They worked with Egypt. Morsi, before Morsi got killed, they worked with him. So they were bringing a lot of good to Gaza. A lot of good underground. It was all underground. They were giving actually feeding people of Gaza. So when Gaza seen that, because you got to understand, there was blockades from early 2000s. This wasn't new. The blockade in Gaza. So Hamas is working underground. They were working underground, going to Egypt, going here, going there, getting resources, food, medicine, whatever the case is. So the people of Gaza always loved Hamas. So why would they choose Fatah, the sellout to Israel, over Hamas that's been there for them, never hurt them, never killed them? Whenever they have problems, Hamas will solve it. They were the government there. You know what I mean? But officially, they won an election, and Hamas won fair and square against Fatah. So when U.S. politicians and people say, "Oh, they chose a terrorist group," like I said, what a terrorist to you? Your definition of a terrorist, they're heroes to us. They're our freedom fighters. They're our heroes. So at the end of the day, guys, the people chose them. Again, people vote in America,
Uh-huh.
Brazil, Italy, any country you go to. There's a system. You vote. That's the law. and they got voted in.
Yeah.
They got voted in fair and square.
For heaven's sake, 80 million people voted for Biden in 2020, right?
They're all branded
we
just
didn't,
like
we
him.
didn't, we didn't go after all of those guys.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's been nonstop, man. Amnesty International calls for Israel and GHF scheme complicit in genocide because of starvation, citing lethal conditions at militarized aid sites. Israel human rights groups, B'Tselem, Physicians for Human Rights Israel, have for the first time accused their own government of genocide, citing denial of food, healthcare, infrastructure destruction, and manipulation of aid. This is from within. You have groups within Israel going
Yeah.
against their own government and saying, look, you're doing it. You're starving them. You're doing this. You're killing. People from their own regime are saying, calling them out. So how bad can you get when your own people and your own government call you out now? You know what I mean? So Netanyahu is playing a very lethal game, man. He's insane. Israel denies everything. They push back. They rejected the famine claims, as you know. Netanyahu comes out, no, they're not starving. They're not starving. Hamas is taking their food. They're accusing the IPC report of mythology and demanding a retraction. They're demanding the IPC report to be retracted. Israel, okay? They defend their actions as targeted against Hamas infrastructure and civilians. They're saying Hamas is really doing it. It's not us. We target Hamas. It's not our fault. They hide behind children, behind women. They hide inside hospitals. That's complete utter bullshit. Hamas is not hiding in hospitals.
Yeah.
On the contrary, Hamas wants the people to live. Why would they go sit in hospitals and school? They blew up almost every school in Gaza. I don't know if you guys noticed. Almost every school in Gaza. They blew up every church in Gaza. 6 months ago, they destroyed the last church in Gaza. It was a beautiful, beautiful church. I forgot the name of it. You guys know the name of that church? Very old church, a few hundred years old. They blew it up. So this is not just about Islam. This is Palestinians in general, Christian or Muslim. They don't want us to exist. They want us wiped off the map, and they've been trying to do this since 1948. And like I said, we're resilient. We're not giving up. We believe one day we're going to get a country back. And the Jews that would live with us, they're more than welcome to stay. The Jews that said we're Palestinians, they can stay with us again. But the Zionists got to go. The Zionists, they're destroying the world. It's not only Palestine, brother. They control America. They control France, Britain. They control every country. And you know how banks, businesses, Federal Reserve is owned by the Rothschild family, and the Rockefellers, our Federal Reserve here in America, are controlled by Israel. So it's sickening.
I mean, the whole Hamas is hiding and using children as shields and this and that. Like I don't. I want to call BS on that. Even if they, for argument's sake, even if they were, you have Mossad, which is one of the most elite special forces groups in the world. You're telling me, like, here in the U.S., if somebody takes hostages, we don't blow up the building. Well, I know there was hostages, but the bad guys were in there, so we blew it up. Like, that's just not a thing that you do. And as a moral human being, that's just not something you do. You can find a way around that. So you're telling me with Mossad that we could, if there was really Hamas hiding in hospitals, like we have, as in America, we have special forces units that go in there,
hospital,
drop from an Apache helicopter half a mile away, and go in there and take out, like,
to go boots on ground. Are you that
like
scared
that's
of I call Hamas farmers. They're farmers. Are you not scared of farmers with no technology?
What are they? Are they farmers, or are they really sophisticated fighters? Because you can't claim both and then be scared. Like, it's the like you said very early on in this episode, the lies stack upon the lies upon the lies, and they lose track of their lies. So it doesn't make sense anymore. None of it makes sense anymore.
No.
So I'm sorry.
Their time is coming, man. The world has woken up, and when I say the time is coming, I don't mean no harm to nobody. I don't see nobody get hurt or killed, but they're gonna get the shine of the stick, just like happened to them 1,000 years ago, 1,500 years ago, 2,500 years ago. Israel did these. I don't want to say Jews, because there's a lot of good Jewish people, but the ideology of Zionism has been with them for thousands of years. Yes, they changed the name 100+ years ago, Zionism, but this same group been here since Moses, Abraham, Jesus time, same people, same ideology, same mindset. So when I tell people that, they're like, "Oh, you're a liar. Zionism started 100 years ago." No, that term Zionism started by the ideology
Uh-huh.
of destroy and conquer the world has been with them since day one. Okay,
Yeah.
and
That's why I compared that ideology to the very thing that they said was the Nazism that they were under in Europe. I mean, it was we're better than everybody else. We're superior genetically. Like we need to run everything. We need to spread to the betterment of society, of humanity. We need to spread. And the moment you decide that you are better or above another human being is when very, very bad things follow.
absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely. And
And with that idea, the ideology and belief, that's why they kill people because you're a nobody, you're a goyim, you're nobody, you're filth. You don't belong here. This is our air we breathe. This is our grass we walk on. They believe they own the world, and it's sickening. For your followers, I don't know. I'm sure you guys heard of the Balfour Declaration. You know what that is? The Balfour Declaration, where Britain promised the Jews a homeland. So the Balfour Declaration was a public statement issued by the British government in 1917 during the First World War, announcing its support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. In Palestine, then an Ottoman region with a small minority Jewish population. So that tells you there were Jewish people living with us. The declaration was contained in a letter dated on November 2nd, 1917, from Arthur Balfour. That's what they call it, the Balfour Declaration,
Uh-huh.
to the Foreign Secretary, Lord Rothschild, the leader of the British Jewish community, later on became the Zionist Federation of Great Britain and Ireland. So there was always a scheme there.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Britain occupied Palestine. I don't know if you guys know that in the early 1900s, they occupied Palestine from 1901 to 1917. And then in 1917, they wrote this article called the Balfour Declaration, promising the Jewish people, which not the Jewish people, the Zionists, I'm going to say it straight out, the Zionist people, a homeland. So they told the Palestinians, listen, you want your freedom? We said, yes. They said, okay, we need you to tag along with us and go to war against the Ottoman Empire. You remember at that time, it was the
Uh-huh.
Ottoman Empire and Britain and everything. So the Palestinians said, you know what? Let's go. We're going to join the British people and go against our own brothers and sisters of Islam because they were Muslim. We actually fought with the British. We threw out the Ottoman Empire out of the whole region, Lebanon, Syria, and Palestine. And then but Britain betrayed us. They lied to us. They gave the keys to Israel. They
Uh-huh.
said, okay, here, Israel, here's our weapons, here's our tanks, here's our machine guns. Go ahead, take over. And that's when they started coming in 1948 because they were bringing them in slowly. From the Balfour Declaration after 1917, they started bringing them in. I'm sure you've seen the videos. They're coming on ships.
Uh-huh.
They started coming to Palestine slowly, pretending they're nice and everything. And then once 1948 hit, that's when they invaded with the British military weapons and everything they had, the technology. They gave them everything. And that's when they came into my father's village, Deir Yassin, massacred half of my family, just kept going, taking over. That's when the Nakba happened, a catastrophe in 1948. And then just it kept happening. 1948 was the first one. Then 1967, the Six-Day War. Israel invaded the West Bank, including East Jerusalem, Gaza Strip, Golan Heights, and the Sinai Peninsula. This was not technically a raid, but a full military occupation. Since then, Gaza and the West Bank have been considered occupied territories under international law, though Israel disputes this. This is 1967. In 2002, Operation Defense Shield, they called it, in the West Bank. After a wave of suicide bombings during the Second Intifada, Israel launched a large-scale raid into the West Bank cities. So this suicide bombing, they're claiming suicide bombing, those are completely out of their mind. So now they come to your house, they kill your family, rape your sister, rape your mother, kill everybody. What's gonna happen? You're gonna go cuckoo. These
Uh-huh.
people started strapping up bombs and going blowing themselves up in buses, and they have nothing to live for no more. So those as Palestinians and Muslims, we don't respect that. We don't condone nobody blowing themselves up. In Islam, Allah says, if you killed one innocent person, is as you have killed the whole humanity. Okay, so those guys were never said good job or great. We don't condone that as Muslim Palestinians. So after that, they raided the West Bank. They went to Jenin and Nablus. They ended up taking entire populations out in that area. They killed hundreds of Palestinians and arrested thousands of Palestinians and took all their land and their homes. That was in '02, 2008, 2012, 2014, 2021, 2023 till today in Gaza. It's still going on. Since 2008, it's been going on there. Okay, so '02, but in '08 they reignited again. 2008, '09, they called it Operation Cast Lead, where they went in, they ended up doing using phosphorus, fire, and bombs. I don't know if you heard about that. They burned a lot of Palestinians alive with white phosphorus, which was illegal under international law. That everybody said it's illegal. You can't use white phosphorus, and they still did it. They burnt everybody alive in the streets. We've seen videos. Our family members told us, and they basically said, "Oh, well, Hamas is using some type of weapon that we got to defend ourselves with white phosphorus. Hamas is doing this. Everything leads back to Hamas. Hamas, Hamas, Hamas. Every single thing, everything they do, they justify because Hamas did it to us first. Hamas is hiding there. Hamas is doing this. It's like at some point you're gonna be like, dude, Hamas not even they're not even real no more. Like nobody sees Hamas anywhere. Like where's Hamas
So,
at? Like okay, they're underground, but we don't
so
see you killing
I,
Hamas. We see you killing women and children only.
I was about at what point does being the bigger man or the bigger person come into play here? If Hamas does something evil, if a terrorist, if anybody, not just Hamas, if somebody does something bad, like October 7th, for example, when does that justify the mass genocide of women and children? It never does,
It
and it
doesn't.
never
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and it never will. And I want to keep on going for this. We're going to do a part two for this. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to come right back. And I want to keep on going on the timeline we're going
Awesome,
on,
awesome.
Ali. But we're going
When
to do
we
a
come
two.
back, I want to get to American Congress, APEC, and American Congress of Senators. So it's gonna be very interesting what your followers will learn about APEC and who is APEC, how it started. When we come back, we'll talk about APEC if you don't mind.
No,
Awesome. No.
absolutely.
All right.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll continue on the next one with Ali and Ravi. Thanks, guys.